Now then, and welcome to Football Manager 17 tactical analysis of a formation. Yes, a formation. This formation I will be doing from the ground up, from the defence up, and showing you all the details of how I choose the formation so that you can use it in your own game. So with this tactic is the kind of the middle ground tactic. This is a 4-1-2-3 tactic. And in the majority of the cases, this tactic I would deploy in a game that I don't know whether I'm the best team on the pitch. And I need to be able to adapt to the game as it's being played out in front of me. So I've got a good solid back four. I've got a defensive midfielder who I would like to be also a deep-lying playmaker. And two good centre mids who can push forward and help with the attack. Two extremely pacey wingers and a great striker. And what I'm going to do with this tactic is start from the back. And the goalkeeper, we've got the options of goalkeeper or sweeper keeper. With this particular tactic, I still want to be fairly defensive at the back because I don't know what my opponent's capable of. So it'll be goalkeeper defend. In my much more attacking formation, I will use the sweeper keeper. I'm going to be using, instead of defensive fullbacks like I do in the more defensive technology, I'm going to be going with the standard fullback. And they're going to be on the support. So the fullbacks on support allow the fullbacks to move up the field and potentially overlap with the wingers in order to make chances happen in the box. So when we're winning, they will go and support, and when we're defending, they'll come back and defend. But unlike my more defensive formation, the Mountain Wolf, these guys will go forwards and try and attack at least, when necessary to support the attack. The centre defenders are... They've got a choice between the defensive centre-back, the ball-playing defender, and the central defender. Now, the defensive centre-back, I don't want to play that defensive. I don't want to just lob the ball forwards. I want to try and keep hold of possession. So a ball-playing defender and a centre defender on the defence role is pretty good. The ball-playing defender on the stopper role allows him to get forwards, stop the incoming attack, and play the ball decisively forward for a counter-attack. As I was saying, the defensive midfielder, I wanted to bring on the deep-lying playmaker skill. There's ball-winning midfielder, which is a generally good one, defensive midfielder, anchorman, halfback. They're all very good at being defensive. But I wanted somebody who, once the defence is clearing the ball, they can pass to the deep-lying playmaker, and he can then link up with the next phase, the attacking phase, and start going forwards. But at the same time, I'm keeping him on a defensive duty so that he stays back more than supporting forwards. He gets the ball carefully, he plays the ball carefully forwards. We maintain as much possession as possible as the wingers move up the sides, the fullbacks move up, the wingers and the strike force all get involved, leaving three men at the back to defend in case it all goes pear-shaped. And we don't know with this formation. We don't know whether we're going to be the best team on the pitch. So we need to have three men at the back at all times, maybe four if one of the fullbacks isn't in action at the time as well, just to help defend long enough. In the midfield, in the centre, we're going to have a ball-winning midfielder with support for the attacking team. So he's going to be winning the ball as best as possible and supporting up. But we also want somebody who's much higher the pitch. An advanced playmaker would be nice. An advanced playmaker supporting the attack would be good. But I don't have any advanced playmakers in my team, so I'm playing just a straightforward centre midfielder with the support. It's a very similar option, but not quite as talented, my midfield in this team. But I would recommend having the advanced playmaker and the deep-lying playmaker being able to play off each other and help the attacks sort themselves out and get all the wingers in play. Now, with this, I favour the wingers as just being normal support again. They receive the ball from a playmaker and they run down to the byline and they cross it in. And having more midfielders available around the box for the rebounds is good in this attacking formation. Having the striker be able to do more stuff in the box would be better as well. So the striker's more for it in this. The advanced playmaker would be another good option if you've got the player who can do it. And having the inside forward is a much more attacking role, where the winger will cut inside and go for goal himself. So in this case, I'm going to be supporting at wingers on the sides. And I have a player on my team who is able to play the false nine. But a lot of these weird and wonderful formations, like complete forward for the striker, will allow him to be all around the box and get involved in the attack and be able to come back to defend. The false nine just brings the defenders out of touch with where the striker's going to be, so he can make a run and take those through balls from the crosses very quickly from the playmakers and make something happen. The advanced forward would be another option if you don't have any of the below. Poacher would be okay so long as you've got some good wingers on your team. I happen to have a false nine player, so I'm going to be bringing him into the team as well. So that's the squad that I'll be using in my Let's Play for Wolves. And it's got all the things that I'm describing, all the things that I want. We've got the fullbacks on support, we've got the ball-playing stopper, we've got the ball-winning midfielders, one of them playing as a playmaker, the other one playing as a ball-winning midfielder support, central midfielder in support, the wingers in support or attack, depending on which way round you want to play it. You can always change it during the game. And I've got this Joe Mason, who is a good false nine player. Mostly 3 stars in this, some slightly higher than 3 stars. It's a good swings and roundabouts. If you don't know whether you're going to win or lose, it's a good strategy for the team. Now, I'm going to be playing this with the standard mentality, as I've been using the counter for my defensive strategy and I'm using the control for my attacking strategy. I'm going to use the standard mentality for the starting mentality for this formation, which means that I can change it to counter or change it to control, and they've been trained in both of those mentalities as well. If I think that I need to protect a lead, or if I think they're attacking far too much, I need to start playing a counter-attacking, or whether I'm in total control of the game and I just want to continue bombarding their goal with as much shots as possible. So I start off with a standard mentality. Highly structured is where the very defensive formation comes in. In this one, I want them to be structured. I don't want them to be too fluid or flexible. I want them to be structured so that they are only contributing to phases that they should be contributing to. In this particular case, the central defenders are responsible only for the defensive phase. The fullbacks and the more defensive midfielders are responsible for both the defensive and the transition to attack phase. The wingers and more attacking midfielders are responsible for both the transition and the attacking phase itself, and the forwards are responsible only for the attacking phase. So with a structured tech, when we're moving into attack, I've got 3 players who are moving out of the defensive situation and going forwards to help with the attack, but they're always ready to drop back into defence as soon as the situation changes. I've got the midfielders and the wingers moving up to support the attack most of the time and transition the ball between the defence and the attack. And I've just got one player who's not involved in the defence or the transition to attack, who's just staying up the top there. And as a false 9, he will be doing quite a bit of that, no doubt. The false 9 is similar to an attacking midfield or playmaker role. Unconventional lone striker or centre forward who drops deep into midfield. The purpose of this is it creates problems for the opposing centre defenders, who either follow him, leaving space for the onrush of midfields and forwards and wingers to exploit, or leave him time and space to dribble out and pass. The false 9 is then going to be more of an attacking midfielder role at the centre here most of the time. So as the attack comes up, there's going to be a rush of at least 8 players heading in towards the box with the ball, trying to score, which is good. Very good, I hope. Very, very good, I hope. Now, as for their individual instructions, once we've set up their basic role and duty, and we've set up the mentality and team shape, we can do team instructions. Now, in this case, I don't want to drop them back deep defence. I want just standard normal defence. I don't want them to push up any higher because I don't know yet whether this strategy is going to work. So my more defensive strategy is slightly deeper, and I can always change this during the game to slightly deeper. And my more attacking is going to be slightly higher. So I can always change it up or down depending on how the match is progressing as I see it. But I'll leave it on normal for now. I'm going to use the offside trap. Almost everything in these team instructions I would build up over the course of the season to build their familiarity first. I don't necessarily want them to be closing down all the time. I want my players to be finding space, so I'm just going to leave that as a standard as well. I'm going to have a fairly balanced team, but I want to play wide because I've got those wide attacking forwards. Going into the attack, I need the wide width, and I've also got the fullbacks who are going to be hugging the wing as well. So I need to play wide reaches most of the time. I don't want them to clear the ball out to the middle of nowhere, but I do want them to exploit the flanks because the flanks are where the ball is going to travel the best, and I can play out of defence to exploit the flanks. I don't want to just lob the ball cleanly over the top. That's a much more counter-attacking strategy, which you'll see in the other defensive formation. And when they're playing forwards, I do want them to try and pass into space and through balls so that they can run onto balls instead of just trying to connect the passes directly. And with this one, I'm going to try a shorter passing method. Now, over time, the shorter passing is a thing that's going to have to develop their familiarity. The players don't start with familiarity with short passing. It should be like the easiest thing because it's the shortest thing. But they are familiar with mixed passing rather than direct passing. And this is where we're going to have short passing or mixed passing depending on what we're going for. So with a more defensive, I'm going to go route 1. With a more attacking, I'm going to go very short. And, with a more attacking, I'm going to go mixed, actually. With this, I want to try and keep control and keep possession as much as I can and play short, detailed passes, playing out of defence and exploiting the flanks so they can run up and cross the ball in to the box. On this one, I want them to stay on their feet. I don't want the defenders going in for stupid tackles. I don't want to be giving away free kicks for no good reason. I want them to just let the ball play and see where it takes us. I can always change this during the game to get stuck in if I feel the need to. I'm not going to prevent the goalkeeper distribution. I'm not going to do tighter marking because I'm going to let them play and then counter-attack a little bit and let me play. I'm going to be focused more on my game rather than their game plan. We're going to look for the overlap because we've got the fullbacks and the wingers all active. And we're going to try and work the ball into the box for shooting so we can build up a lot of play with a lot of possession and a lot of short passes, pass through into space into the box, hopefully. Look for the overlaps with the fullbacks and the wingers, working down the wings to try and get the ball in. And hopefully this will be good. I'm going to go with low crosses as well so that we keep the ball as low to the ground and in our possession as possible. We'll have them dribbling, running at the defence because I've got a team full of dribblers. But to start off with, it might be worth not putting that on at all until you know you've got a team that can dribble. And I'm going to have them stick to their positions. And I don't know about creative freedom. I think I'll just leave that to see how they get on. Most likely. I'll get them sticking to positions though because I don't want the formation shape to drop. I want to be able to quickly move from attack to defence and have good transitions. And that is the overall what I'm going to be looking for in my team instructions for this formation. You can also go into depth into the details of how they play each individual role. With my defensive formation, I did go into a lot more detail trying to get these to be exactly like minute detail of what I wanted them to do. But with this fairly standard mentality where I don't know whether we're going to need it or not, I'm going to leave those individual instructions off so that I can have something to tweak during individual games. If I think a game may be going the wrong way, at half time I could change it so that the defenders don't go running down the flanks, that they will stay back and not commit themselves to the attack too often, that I can have the attackers staying wide so that we don't run in too close and get clobbered by their right back or left back. Hopefully this will be a formation that going forwards will help me to decide whether I can win games against teams or lose games against teams and be able to make that fluid change of tactics during the play. It's kind of the halfway point between my defensive strategy and my attacking strategy, the grey area in between. And so for my Let's Play, I've called it the Grey Wolf, for my Wolverhampton Wanderers playthrough on FIFA Manager 17. Thank you very much for watching this tactical formation. I will see you very soon for some more. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to watch the Let's Play and see how it gets on. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.